morning, Wareham. It is Friday, June 7th. We have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. This morning, the end to flavored tobacco. We'll be speaking to a Wareham resident to hear her reaction. And my favorite Russian is in the building. Nadia Karitnakova joins us for this week's news and events, in addition to the latest from Wareham Free Library. But first, let's take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay with us because the news and the weather are next. What a glorious weekend this is going to be. Sunny, 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 sunny. Sunny in Philadelphia, that's a show, right? I like that show. Anyhow, so this is what's going to happen. Today, sunny with high at 74 degrees and low at 53 degrees. Tomorrow, Saturday, sunny, high at 73 degrees and low at 51 degrees. Followed by another sunny day on Sunday with high at 74 degrees and low at 55 degrees. And now to the news. There were a few news stories over the week, and here are the news headlines. WGBH News had this following report. A worker and a manager at Wareham gas station are facing criminal charges after police say they illegally sold crack pipes to customers who provided them with a special code word. I do not know what the code word was. But anyhow, John Amara, 57 years old, of North Dartmouth, and was arrested on a charge of possessing drug paraphernalia with intent to distribute. And also Muhammad, and I apologize because I cannot pronounce his last name, Iqbal, 58 years old, of New Bedford, is charged with possession with intent to distribute drug paraphernalia. During the operation, Wareham police seized more than 30 glass pipes and numerous copper pads. And moving on to another news, the Carver Marion Wareham Regional Refuse Disposal District's Hazardous Waste Day itself turned hazardous on Saturday as people were waiting, queued up all the way down to Charge Pound Road onto Route 28. The line stretched past the YMCA, prompting some parents to drop off their young basketball players off the side of the road to run to the game as the line was moving too slowly. And at 3:41 p.m. on Monday, June 3rd, Wareham police found that a 16-year-old girl had been struck by a car while crossing Marion Road after a passing driver failed to stop. The victim was transported to Toby Hospital. The operator of the vehicle, a Wareham resident, was cited for failure to stop for a pedestrian in a crosswalk. In a memo to the board, Chief John Walsek wrote that this is the third such accident since December 2018. Walsek reported that he has reached out to the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, and an employee is making studies of the area. Town Administrator Derek Sullivan said that he has considered removing the crosswalk as he thinks it is too dangerous. And I have this announcement. The Triple Crusaders, a 3-person team of Wareham residents, are participating in the Pan Mass Challenge. We'll be holding a pancake breakfast fundraiser on Sunday, June 9th at the Wampanoag Road and Gun Club at 92 Pine Street in Middleborough from 8 a.m. to noon. The trio will then ride the 192 miles from Starbridge to Provincetown on August 3rd and August 4th. in hopes to raise a total of $15,000 for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. That's all for today's news. Stay with us because Nadia is next. Nadia Karinakova is in the building today. Why? Because it is Friday. She's here to digest this week's news and events. Welcome.
Hi, Quinn.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice to see the face of Friday.
Yes.
I saw you Wednesday. Did we see each other Wednesday?
Tuesday.
And I was like, it's Friday, but it wasn't Friday. So that kind of threw me off. And now it's actual Friday. So tell me about, actually we have 3 stories, right? Shangri-La Playground, we have the Gatra Summer Ride, and we have the Wareham High School graduation.
Yes.
Where would you like to start?
Well, I think I will announce that the high school graduation will start at 6:30 today in Spillane Field.
Yes.
It's just an important event. Everyone is welcome to attend.
Important event,
yes, to say the least.
Important event for those involved.
Yes.
Okay, so of course you graduated from high school.
Yes.
So are you going to share it here?
No, I will be happy that I'm not there.
Why? How was your high school like?
I don't know, just the high school was the hardest experience in my life. It was super hard.
Where
and
did
very
you go
stressful.
to high school?
Northfield Mount Hermon School.
Okay, and how was it just a tough school?
It was a very tough school, and it was very hard for me because it was my first experience living in the United States, and I didn't know English very well, so everything
tougher
was
than in Russia?
Yes, much harder, of course.
You're kidding?
No. What?
I thought you guys go to school 24/7.
Yeah, it was no.
No?
No.
Because I was thinking, like, if I have children, one day just ship them to Russia for school.
No.
No? Okay.
I didn't like my school.
Yeah. So you came, it was hard, you graduated.
Yes.
How did it feel like?
It felt great, but then college was also hard, but now I graduated and I'm finally happy.
You're not going to go for advanced studies?
Maybe I will someday.
Some other day.
We'll see.
You got to cool down.
Yeah,
first.
when I need to calm down. From this college academic experience, yes.
So today the Wareham class of 2019 will be graduating. I mean, I thought class of 2012 was, just graduating 2012, I felt like, my goodness, it's like people graduated in 1999 or whatever, and like,
yes.
I'm graduating in 2012, I'm such a baby. And 2019, jeez.
Yes, and to think all these graduates were born in 2000s, makes me, like, I don't know.
Are they the Generation X or they millennials? What are they?
No, I think X.
The Generation X?
Yes, because I think millennium go to, as I understand, to 1999, as I think.
Okay.
But I might be wrong.
I made it. Did you made it in 1999?
Yes, yes, I did.
Wait, millennials.
I'm official millennium.
Yeah. So these are Generation X graduating tomorrow. Today.
Yeah, today, yes.
Oh my goodness. It's a 3-hour event, I believe.
I think it is. I don't know actually, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're going to stretch it. Everybody wants to speak. Everybody and their mother wants to speak.
Okay.
Okay. So good luck to you. So, and then where? Should we start talking about Shangri-La?
Yeah, let's talk about this. So on Tuesday, the Board of Selectmen approved that the Preservation Committee considered donating money to new playground station, and this proposal will be considered during the fall town meeting. So basically what it is, town wants to donate $220,000 to improve a playground in Shangri-La. And this donation, and this including the fact that several community members volunteers to dig the holes for the swing poles and put together picnic tables.
Okay. Have you live in Shangri-La?
Yes, I do.
You visited the playground?
I haven't. This is my plan to do it over this weekend because I want to take pictures.
Now, yes. I think it was about a year ago. I spoke to not Carol, who is spearheading this event. Another gentleman. He was part of the neighborhood watch of Shangri-La, and he referred to Shangri-La as the forgotten part of Wareham. I mean, it's almost a whole different universe when you go there.
It is, yes, and those people who go there, like, oh, I didn't know there's like this part of town still exists.
Yeah. Actually, it actually belongs to Wareham.
Yes.
It's very different. And I visited the playground, and truly, I must say, no child deserves to play in such a place. It looked like a scene from a horror movie.
Yes, and I don't understand why people consider it as a forgotten neighborhood, because this is, I think, one of the few places where people live all year long. And like I've been living here for a few months now, and all these houses are always occupied. During the night, there's always light. During the winter, people are always there. So everyone lives there at all time.
Okay. So they're asking for $220,000.
Yes.
There was a little, I couldn't understand this. Is it expansion of 100 feet or 10,000 feet?
No, 100 square feet.
That's small. What are they where are they actually putting there?
They will install a few swings for different for kids of different ages.
Okay.
Because I think kids who are 6 years younger need to have like a safer swings, and the kids who are older will have their own swings.
So each 100 square foot is a section designated to a specific age? Is
No,
that what it is?
it's just overall.
Over whole 100 square feet?
Yes, that's correct. And also there will be installed a climbing net
Okay.
and a 4-seat seesaw. And also, I think I personally was the funniest thing. The basketball court will be rotated, so it will face north to south rather than east to west, as if today. Because whenever each side plays, the sun is always shining in either side.
Oh,
Yes.
so they're gonna change it up?
Yes. Because otherwise, the sun is always in your eyes.
Oh, so they're actually thinking of those teams?
Yes.
Aw.
Unfair
adorable.
disadvantage to one team, always.
So, I mean, they're getting money from CPC. They're also fundraising their own money. Where are they at? How much do they have?
Okay, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I want to do a follow-up with this. I'm not sure. how
Okay,
much.
because they have been talking about this for a very long time now.
Oh, they have? Okay.
Yeah, and I need to understand where they are at the moment. How much of the $220,000 they actually have.
Yes.
And what did they talk about the next upcoming fundraisers?
No, they haven't. They haven't.
Okay.
But I will do a follow-up on this. But I think after, like overall, the final decision will be at the town fall meeting. So I think that's when we'll have to write another story that will summarize all the details that happened since last week.
Okay, so they're gonna
This
go
week.
to the town hall meeting
Yes.
to discuss further about this. Maybe they to actually get the CPC funds
Yes.
from. Okay. All right. So now we have the Gatra Summer Ride.
Yes.
Jita. Is it such a long walk? I could understand if you have children and you're lagging along coolers and stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's $1.
Yes.
You just have to raise your hand.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and it operates from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
I'm sorry, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, and so it's 20-minute ride. You can just leave your car somewhere and then
Yes.
get
And
the ride.
I wrote it down because I'm afraid to get it wrong. So the route will start at the Bay Point Golf Club. Then it will travel down to the Bay Point Drive and turn onto Onset Avenue. And then it will go to the Heinz Field for a loop on the West Boulevard and South Boulevard, which will connect back to the Onset Avenue, and additional stops might be added. But the final destination will be Onset Pier and Onset Beach.
Okay.
Yes, which I think is very hard to park there, to be honest. I've been there several times this summer, and it's like the parking is very tough.
The parking is very tough, and parking is very costly.
Yes.
There are a few spots for free parking if you park where Pier View Restaurant is, that side.
Yes.
If you park the 1 hour parking.
Yes.
Mark Anthony, that little strip there, and also in front of Taladin's.
Yes, that's correct.
Or if you know somebody in Onset, you can park on their driveway.
Yes, but other than these, like few spaces, it's very hard to drive other places, or you have to walk very far. I faced this problem so many times already.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should print a sign, breaking news, put it right on your windshield. Park somewhere, don't pay for it, anything like that, okay? Have your credentials with you. You see somebody giving you a ticket.
You will
Be like, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Like you're violating freedom of speech.
Yes, definitely. That's how I contested my tickets. I once got a ticket. I was just like, how dare you? But that's what.
You know who I am.
Yeah, don't you know who I am? So that's one way to avoid this. Apart from the graduation, anything that's going on this weekend?
Yes, I know I'm going to be covering softball car wash that will all the fundraisers will go towards softball too.
Where is that going to be taking place?
I need to find out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
I normally see car wash is taking place at the fire station, Main Street.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So they are fundraising for what again?
Softball team.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they going to compete outside?
You mean the game?
Yeah. Are they are they traveling or just?
I'm not sure, but I do know that the baseball team just won the playoff yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, do you write good when it comes to sports? Do you understand it?
No, to be honest, not. When the game ends, I'm like, can you please tell me the score, because I have no idea what just happened. And also, who won?
The team that's jumping up and down
yes.
won. Well, thank you so much, Nadia, for this week's news and event, and I cannot wait to see your face. Am I going to see your face on Friday?
Even today?
No, next Friday.
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yes.
So who's going to be my next victim?
I don't think anyone, because my editor is going for vacation as well.
She just come from a vacation.
Yeah, but she has another one.
Unbelievable. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Nadia.
you, Corinne.
So that was Nadia Karitnikova, aka my favorite Russian, here to discuss this week's news and events. Stay with us, more to come. Thank you. All right, and now I have Jenna in the studio. I got acquainted through your Facebook post, yes. And you weren't too happy with the Wednesday Board of Health meeting.
No, not at all.
Okay, so tell me what transpired there.
So they've already banned, I feel like they've already went behind businesses' backs with the last flavor ban that they've done where we're not able to sell flavored cigars, only smoke shops at the moment. So now they're trying to ban menthol, which includes mint and wintergreen, chewing tobacco as well, which I feel like everybody has to be aware of that. They probably only think it's cigarettes that they're talking about. So chewing tobacco will be incorporated into the rule. And I just feel like the town's trying to go behind people's backs where they're not even aware of these meetings. They were going to vote on banning the products Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
They were going to.
So they were going to, but they didn't.
They didn't because they were told that another town was sued over the issue of not allowing the public to come to a meeting.
You know, this is interesting. So, in other hand, this is the trend that is going to take place across the state, right?
Yeah.
We have Senator John Keenan of Quincy and Representative Daniel Gregoire, I believe, who are spearheading this movement of banning of flavored tobacco, e-cigarettes, right? And they are joined by the Attorney General, Maura Healey, in support of taxing e-cigarettes and banning flavored tobacco products. I get it. But what your quarrel is this, what time was the meeting?
4:30 it started.
4:30
Yes.
town meeting. Meeting. They didn't advertise. I didn't see it on
no,
Wareham
not at
paper.
all.
They didn't contact us, and by all means, they understand that we exist.
Right.
But they choose not to utilize us. So people, when you posted it, people, I read all those posts, and people were baffled by all this. Like, when again was the meeting, and how come we didn't know about it?
Exactly, yeah.
Did you get to ask questions?
You can speak out. They don't really care what you have to say. They just, I feel like they already have their minds made up, and they said they already had their minds made up in the meeting, and they said, but they'll still have a public, where the public can come to this meeting July 17th.
July 17th.
Yes.
Okay, that's the next meeting. So they say they already had their minds already made up. So what does that mean? If a public, would there be a vote? Or just you can come and air your grievance?
I believe it's just with the 6 people on the Board of Health are the only people that are able to vote. I feel like it should be almost like a statewide thing, like how they legalize marijuana. It should be up to the people. Why should 6 people that maybe don't even smoke be able to make up a law, town law, for everyone that's in town, you know?
And this law is going to impact businesses in this community.
It'll hit them hard, yes.
And how do we justify? I mean, I am of neither. Cigarettes or marijuana is not list of my vices.
Right.
I have other things.
I don't know either.
But how do we justify bringing marijuana, and we're considering cafes now, right? And then we are banning flavored tobacco. I mean, I get it that children are attracted to this, but once again, according to the law, you have to be 21 years old.
Right.
So those kids who are huffing and puffing or munching tobacco, they're illegally doing so, right?
Right.
So this becomes a parent issue.
It is.
But now it's imposed to the whole town, and we all have to abide by this.
Right.
So I hear that your boyfriend was there.
Yes.
Did you get to hear what he asked?
I can't remember what
Oh,
he
you were
said.
just furious.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I was very, my body was warm when I left because it's a heated issue. Like, I don't understand why not ban all tobacco. Why are you just picking on people that like to smoke menthols? Like, it's not going to fix an issue. Everything's bad for you. You can die from eating food. It's not just, cancer is not just in menthol cigarettes. Why ban it when you already have to be 21 to buy it? Doesn't make sense.
And I know that Wareham and other neighboring towns, we have this issue with drugs, opioids, and I know we're in trouble. But once again, I said with you, if you're going to ban something because it's bad for us, then just do ban it.
Exactly.
Don't select,
nitpick
one thing after the other. And the fact, as you say, and if their minds are made up, then I don't understand why they're calling the meeting on the 17th.
It doesn't. They probably just don't want to be sued. They don't have the money in any accounts for it. Which I feel they'll get sued for sure if they wouldn't have another meeting.
So what's your mission now? I mean, you posted that online. Tell me some of the things that people have asked you. Okay.
They're just asking me random questions. I just posted the information because not everybody is aware. Sometimes we'll show up to just town meetings to see what people have to say, and our salesmen have made us aware that they are trying to ban menthol cigarettes, and the public's not going to be aware.
So the 17th, are you calling for people to join you?
I'm trying. I'm telling a lot of people I know, but a lot of people are just leaving work at 4 o'clock. So some of them might work in construction. They're all sweaty and gross. They don't want to have to go to a meeting at 4:30 when
and this has been a problem. Some noon meetings, 8 a.m. meetings, supposedly open to the public.
They're sneaky.
Very but sneaky. You caught them.
Yes.
Wow, so the July 17th, do we have a time? Or is it still 4?
I believe it's 4.
4,
Maybe 4:30, but I would say 4. They might be sneaky and try to change it. I don't know. I don't trust them at all.
You do not trust them? You don't sound like you
I don't.
care for them.
I don't care for anyone. I don't trust anyone, so with this issue, with the previous flavor ban, I don't trust the town at all.
Okay, so currently no flavored tobacco, no e-cigarettes?
No e-cigarettes, no pipe rolling tobacco, chewing tobacco, nothing. It applies to everything, even smokeless tobacco.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, no
I mean, are you a parent?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No, and I'm not a smoker either.
Yeah. But it's just, once again, people need to weigh in, and you
Right.
cannot intrude somebody's privacy
Right.
to this
Right,
extent.
right. It's supposed to be America. It's
Supposed to be America.
It's supposed to be America, but it's not turning into it anymore. It's supposed to have freedom.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I hope I'll see you on July 17th. And really, thank you for bringing this to my knowledge, because I didn't know such a thing happened.
Yes.
And truly, I understand that they know that WCTV exists,
Yes.
but maybe they don't think highly of me at all.
Right.
But I'll be there.
Okay, sounds
I'll be
good.
there
I'll
to
see you
ask
there.
the unanswered questions.
Right, exactly. We'll appreciate your support.
Well, thank you so much, Jana.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so that was Jana, a resident here in Wareham, completely angered by what transpired during the last Board of Health meeting on Wednesday regarding banning flavored tobacco. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. Hello, and thank you for being with us this morning. We are broadcasting live from our WCTV studio in Wareham. This is Good Morning Wareham, your source for local news, weather, traffic information, and extra information. And now for a moment in history, let's take a look at where we were today in history. Today in 1942 marked the ending of the Battle of Midway. This four-day battle in the Pacific between the U.S. and Japan was a decisive victory for the Allies, as the outnumbered Americans were able to destroy 4 Japanese aircraft carriers. The Americans were able to intercept and disfar a code sent by the Japanese so that they could anticipate a surprise attack. The Japanese were ready to launch. And on this day in 1893, an Indian lawyer working in South Africa by the name of Muhammad Gandhi committed his first act of civil disobedience, going against the segregation that was the norm in South Africa. Gandhi would, of course, go on to become one of the world's most famous leaders, known for his hunger strikes and nonviolent ways. And today in 1986, multi-sport athlete Bo Jackson was drafted by the Kansas City Royals. He played for the Royals as a left fielder from 1986 to 1990, and was also a running back for the Los Angeles Raiders during that same time span. An all-star in both sports, Bo was widely popular because of his multiple talents. And today's birthday goes to Prince. Born in 1958 in Minnesota, he is best known for Purple Rain. Prince was a musical pioneer known for his outlandish and eccentric sounds. He passed away in 2016 from an overdose. And happy birthday to everybody else celebrating their big day today. That's all for today in History segment. To learn more cool historical facts, please go online under history.com. Stay with us. We'll be back with the coffee segment. But first, let's take a look at our events calendar. Hello and welcome back. This is Good Morning Wareham. We're broadcasting live from our WCTV studio at 505 Main Street. And now is the coffee segment. I do not have a guest, but we're going to play a video and we're going to watch an episode from the famous Wareham Public Library series. And I would just like to point out this little fact that I learned for myself just a couple of days ago, and that is the app Libby. We have, I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of audiobooks, and I didn't know that our Wareham Free Library has a website known as Libby, and you can go register, you can put in your preferences, and you have access to any book imaginable. I'm a huge fan of John Grisham's book. I just borrowed one about 2 days ago, and I'm almost done with it. So you too can go to the Wareham Free Library to check out Libby and to see how you can enhance your library experience. So with that said, please let's enjoy this current episode of This is Wareham Free Library.
Hello, and welcome to the Spinney Branch Library for today's episode of Checking Out the Wareham Library. On today's episode, I'll be doing a fiction spring-themed book talk before interviewing Winna Dean and Sandra Wheeler about how the Spinney Branch Library was started. My first recommendation is our book club's book for the month of April, The Tilbury Ladies Choir by Jennifer Ryan. In her debut novel, Ryan sets the scene with first-hand accounts of diaries and letters of the experiences of 5 women during the summer of 1940 on the eve of the Battle of Britain during World War II. After the women of Tilbury Village defy the edict of the vicar to close the choir, they carry on singing and resurrect themselves as the Tilbury Ladies Choir. Over the course of the novel, we come to know the home front struggles of 5 unforgettable choir members. There is the timid widow, who's devastated when her only son gets shipped to the front lines. Then there is the older daughter of a former brigadier general, who's drawn to a mysterious artist. Her younger sister, who pines over an impossible crush. And then there's a Jewish refugee from Czechoslovakia, hiding a family secret. And then lastly, we meet a conniving midwife, plotting to outrun her seedy past. If you're interested in joining the Friday Fiction Book Club, we meet here at the Spinney Library in Onset at 4:30 p.m. on the 3rd Friday of the month. After the women of Tilbury Village defy the edict of the vicar to close the choir, they carry on singing and resurrect themselves as the Tilbury Ladies Choir. Over the course of the novel, we come to know the home front struggles of 5 unforgettable choir members. There's a timid widow, devastated when her only son gets shipped to the front lines. The older daughter of a former brigadier general, drawn to a mysterious artist. Her younger sister, who pines over an impossible crush. There is a Jewish refugee from Czechoslovakia hiding a family secret, and a conniving midwife plotting to outrun her seedy past. The second book is The Fall of Marigolds by Susan Meissner. The book first takes place in September 1911, where Nurse Clara Wood's lover fell to his death in the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. While caring for an immigrant with a high fever, she becomes intrigued by the name embroidered onto the scarf he carries, and she finds herself caught in a dilemma that compels her to confront the truth about the assumptions that she's made. The book flashes forward 100 years later to September 2011. Taryn Michaels, a single mother working in a fabric store, notices a long-lost photograph in a national magazine, and she relives the terrible day when her husband died in the World Trade Center attack 10 years ago in September of 2001. But a chance at reconnection and a century-old scarf may open Taryn's eyes to the larger forces at work in her life. Read this incredible novel that connects 2 women touched by tragedy through a beautiful scarf. This book has been critically acclaimed and is highly recommended by both Kirkus and Booklist. Our final selection is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. After Ernst Albright, a former Vietnam prisoner of war, loses yet another job, he makes the impulsive decision to move north to Alaska. When Cora, Ernst's wife, and Lenny, his daughter, move with him to Alaska, things seemingly appear to be an answer to their prayers. The long, sunlit days and generosity of the locals make up for the Albrights' lack of preparation and dwindling resources. But as winter approaches, Ernst's fragile state of mind slips, and the family begins to fracture. The perils outside pale in comparison to the threats from within. As the days become shorter in 18 hours of night, Lenny and her mother learn the terrible truth that they are on their own. In the wild there is no one to save them but themselves. Read this stay-up-all-night story about love, loss, the fight for survival, and the wilderness that lives in both man and nature in this New York Times #1 bestseller. Now that it's spring, here are a few rapid-fire suggestions for the season. If you're looking for a cookbook to get you in the mood of the spring, try New England Invite, Fresh Feast to Savor the Seasons by Kate Bowler, a blogger who runs the blog Domesticated Life. Would you like information on growing plants in your garden? Take a look at The Backyard Gardener, simple, easy, and beautiful gardening with vegetables, herbs, and flowers by Kelly Orzel for tips on growing practices, sowing, and controlling pests. Are you thinking of getting your children or grandchildren more involved around the house? Check out At the Farmer's Market with Kids by Leslie Jonah and Ethel Brennan, with fruit and vegetable recipe ideas that cover each of the 4 seasons. And lastly, are you interested in alluring more birds to your garden or backyard? Check out a practical illustrated guide to attracting and feeding garden birds. It includes tips on making 25 different do-it-yourself bird feeders, bird baths, and nest boxes. We're here with Winna Dean and Sandra Wheeler, who both helped get the Spinney Branch Library started some time ago. And we're here to talk about, just do an interview with them to talk about how everything started. Welcome, Winna and Sandy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
It's lovely to be here.
I don't know how many years ago, our friend, both our friends, Martha McGuire, was in her house, and we had Mary Jane Pillsbury, Susan Pizzolatto, Sandra Bessie, you and I. Who else? I'm trying to think who else.
Was Bill Scott involved?
Bill Scott he came in periodically, yes, he did. And Mary Jane, it was her thing to have an annex, a branch here. And when we looked into the history of this building, it was originally a library. That people just signed their name and the year and returned it. And that was almost like when we ran it, before it became part of the library, we just had people sign their name, and it was on a trust thing that we did.
That's incredible.
It was great fun. We had a wonderful time doing it.
And we raised, what, $600,000 around there?
Something like that, yeah.
$600,000, that's no small feat.
Oh, no. It's a lot of money.
You know, we worked together hard, and we knew there was a purpose, because we loved onset. Now I've been here 55 years, and you've been here 10, but you were in Wareham, so like they say, onset is part of Wareham.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. As much as people think
I'm
it's
very
separate.
proud. I'm very proud of Onset. So yeah.
So now she's here in onset, and we're the only 2 left of the original group that worked so hard, and part of Friends. I wasn't a part of a Friend, and I found out that I had to join the Friends in order to raise money for this building. That's how they lassoed me into this. But Sandra, you have
Ever hard at it ever since. But do you remember the sprint for Spinney that we had with all the kids?
Yeah, there's a thing we still have that from the paper.
Wonderful, running through the streets of Onset.
Yeah, we ran all the way down and around the corner with balloons. We're going to get a library. All the kids from the onset, it was Hammond School then, and they were so excited.
Very excited. It was tremendous fun. We really had a good time.
We filled that with donated books, and people would just come in, and it was on a trust thing, and they just fill out their names. And when we found this, we said, well, we've gone back to that. Found out that this was originally a library.
Yeah, and it stopped.
And it stopped when they started sending the books to the men in the war.
Yeah,
service.
World War II, that is.
Yes. And then they turned it over because the Girl Scouts didn't have a place.
Yes.
So that's how it got turned over to the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
And the Girl Scouts were here until they kind of fizzled out, and we took the building.
Yeah.
And boy, did it need some tender, loving care when we got it.
Well, before you look at the building, it's that structure along the side. The original building was just this,
Just this.
the horizontal,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. And then we had an architect drop some plans, and they added the L,
Yeah.
which is the main room now that we
Yes.
have.
Yes.
But they did a really lovely job with it, I think.
And when they
wonderful building.
renovated everything, they had to keep the part of the preservation grants.
Exactly.
They had to keep it. Yeah. You had to keep it this part of the building the same. right?
Exactly, and we had to use wooden clapboards. We couldn't use the composition ones on this part of the building because it had to be, exactly the way it was. So there were some interesting tussles over all of that, but it was with the preservation money that we had to do that.
Yeah.
And it was fine, and it's turned out to be just a perfect meld of old and new. It's
Yes.
wonderful.
Absolutely. What were some of the things that you did for fundraising? I just looked on the internet. I looked online. Did some really interesting things that you guys did.
We did a thing that was called Art and Cool Stuff,
Okay.
and it was sort of like a rummage sale, but we had a sort of a title that made it sound a little bit more elegant than that. And we raised a lot of money that way. We had booths out here in the lawn, and people came out. We had music. And it was great. People bought all kinds of stuff, and it was wonderful. I don't know exactly how much we raised with that, but we did raise quite a lot of money.
We did. We kept raising a lot of money with that, yeah.
So we've done a lot of really interesting things to raise money, and people have been incredibly supportive.
Oh gosh, yes. They were so happy to see that, that we were going to have a library coming. And then we had an addition. There was going to be a second floor, but we couldn't afford the elevator.
Yeah.
So then we had to cut back because the Girl Scouts were going to have a special room with their own key and everything else. So now they can only come when it's opened.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of put a hammer into that.
That was too bad, yeah.
But they still meet on a regular basis at the children's room in the main library.
Yes, they could. They do go to the main library, yes.
I see them.
I know, like the onset brownies, when they were wanted, they came here a couple of times, and then we closed early. Yeah. They changed the hours, and it was difficult for them.
Yeah.
But I think our main goal is to see if we can get more hours and have this run a little bit longer, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
People come in, borrow books, and go to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they bring the books back.
They come in off of boats.
Yes.
To use our internet facilities and things like that, which is tremendous fun.
Yeah.
People from all over the place amble in the middle of the summer in shorts and flip-flops. But and they feel very welcome. It's just a nice place to be, and if we could get more regular hours, it would be lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. A friend of mine dropped in yesterday, and he asked me how Spinney was doing, and when was it ever open? And I said, well, we have many more hours now than we used to. So
Yes. Yes.
keep your eyes open, and you'll see that we're open quite a lot, actually.
Yes. This library has really meant a lot to this community since it's been open.
It has, yeah. And it provides a nice facility for meetings and just for people to come wander in and see people. It's just very, very welcoming.
Yes.
Because it was done with a lot of tender love. Like the wall, everybody says, oh, that color's so pretty. They don't know the story behind this color of this
I read this online. It was clamshell, isn't that right?
It's called clamshell.
Oh, clamshell.
And I picked it out.
With all these strips, and we had all different colors. And this one got this many votes, this one got this many votes. But we did everything together because there was so much love in getting this building.
And we had a lot of fun doing it, too.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Yeah.
And that came from the original building.
Yeah.
The Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
that came from the original building.
Yeah.
And when we had open house, Susan Gifford came in with that key that day and handed it to us when we had the...
Oh, we sold bricks for spinning too.
Yes,
Okay,
we still have the bricks, yes. And we just, thanks to Sandra, which was the initial, we hired somebody to do the landscaping, Michael Roderick, who does this.
Yes.
That's his business.
Yeah.
And he came and he raked the leaves off, and he said he's going to wait till it comes in. He's going to do that, and we're going to set all our bricks big pad out front here instead of going up here and making them all over the place.
Okay.
And I think they'll be more visible, and they're still available.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
How much are they?
I think they're $125. And one year I gave everybody on my Christmas list a brick. So my family and friends are well represented. It seemed like a nice thing to do, and everybody was very pleased.
And we still have people that come back and said, my father bought a brick. Well, where is it? And I said, well, you gotta go look for the brick, you know, like that. So right now it's getting into the second generation.
Yes.
From like that, so that's a nice thing.
So tell me how you're still involved with the Onset Library and with the Friends Group.
Couldn't escape.
First opened, we had daycare come, right? And because I had taken my granddaughter from Marsha in the main library, so I knew we didn't do any crafts, but I knew a few of the songs, and they would bring the children. So they've been coming here before it became part of the town.
Right.
Daycare, and they still come on Mondays.
Yes, the Mondays.
And it's a pleasure when they see you and they'll say, that's the library lady. You know, you say, hi, they go, that's the library mama. And it makes you really feel that what we're doing is worth it.
Well, the Head Start kids come every Monday, and that's just wonderful for them because they love being in the library, and we give them books at the end of their session, and they're very excited about that. And it's wonderful. And the books are all donated books.
Yes.
And they sometimes we have fist fights over who's going to get which book. But they really are into getting their very own books, which is amazing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Absolutely.
And like a lot of times, like the first time we did this, we asked the teacher if it's okay, you know, they can have it. We'd get the leftovers from the book sale. You know, I'll pick the ones because he's a young one. And he said he held a book, I think it was Thomas Tank. And he held it like this, and he says, it's mine. I can keep it. I can take it home. Yes, you can. Oh, thank you, Miss Winter. Thank you. He said, it just brightened my day, you know. It's things like that. And so it's been worth.
So we've stuck it out, but it's still fun. We really love being here. So.
And if we're not able to make it, we have, you know, someone to come in. Sandra and I have very rarely are we both out at the same time.
Right.
But we've been doing it like long before Marsha came in.
It's nice to see both of you just, you know, get your hands dirty and with the crafts and the toys and the musical toys that they do. Oh, it's just a joy to see, I have to say.
And that's our next generation of library patrons.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yes, absolutely. Literacy and
so important.
And really just that component of education in, you know, just telling a story and telling a story through music or any of that kind of thing.
And it's painless. I mean, they're learning a lot, and without realizing that they're learning it, which is great. They're having fun and enjoying themselves. And they also feel that the library is a fun and welcoming place for them to be. And I think that's very important.
And that's the thing about this Onset Library, this Spinney branch. I've always, you know, I've been here a short time, but anytime I've walked in, I just feel welcome. You walk through the door and you're like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, really.
And we have a lot of families that have been attending.
Yes, the story.
All the families are welcome to come in, you know, along with the Head Start kids. It's not just the Head Start kids. We have sometimes 4 and 5 families that come.
Tell me about some of the things that the Friends Group's going to be involved in over the next year.
Well, the next thing is we have a book sale coming up next week. And then there's the duck race.
Yes.
On Memorial Day weekend.
Yep, the Sunday of Memorial Day.
Yeah, the Sunday of Memorial Day, and that's always an absolute hoot.
Yeah.
People buy their little ducks for $5, I think, and they decorate them, and each duck has a number, and we register all the numbers for the race, and then they take them up to hone it and release them in the pond up there down the chute, and
they all come. Some of them flip over and get caught in the leaves and the twigs.
And we have music and we have games.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a lovely day. Last year was freezing cold, but
Right.
we can only hope that this year will not be freezing cold.
Right, we've been very lucky with the spring so far. It's been pretty warm out. Yeah.
That's a big one. And we have of course book sales every month,
Yes.
which is really important.
It's really, and that does help the library quite a bit.
Yeah. We usually raise well over $1,000 each month.
Yeah.
Sometimes the last book sale was well over $2,000.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
Which was amazing.
When you figure it's just $1.25 and $1 a book.
So a lot of books pass through there. It's extraordinary. The volume is amazing.
Yeah.
And people donate books to us, and then we recycle them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that buy them, you'll see them, they bring them back so we can sell them again.
Yeah.
Now the Friends are very active, and one of the most important funding groups for the library.
Yeah. What are some of the things that the Friends pay for?
Books.
Yeah.
Equipment, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever we're asked for, we
Yeah.
generally try to pony up. And,
Yeah.
So that's very important. We have all kinds of fundraisers. There's a play that that's the foundation.
The foundation does that,
yeah. So that's going to happen in October.
Yep.
Y'all remember the foundation, right?
Yes.
I used to be, but I was overloaded, so
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. And you were a trustee at one time also, right, Sandra? Yeah, so Sandra's done all three.
Yeah.
So I've always been very, very involved with the library.
Yes.
I just think libraries are the best things in the world.
Yes. Absolutely. And if someone wanted to join the Friends group, how do they go about doing that?
Well, we would tell them when the next meeting is,
Yep.
and encourage them to come.
Yep.
And they don't have to do anything; they just have to show up, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And during the book sale, there's applications that we keep right on that table that they can fill in.
Yep.
And welcome, welcome, welcome. We'd love to have you.
The more the merrier. It's a good group. It's a nice group of people, and very interesting, and it's very, very pleasant to work with all those people.
Absolutely. Anytime I come across anybody from the Friends, they've always got bright, shiny smiles.
Yeah, they're nice people.
Just enthusiastic about the life.
Yeah, well, we all are. And there are several groups that contribute to the well-being of the library.
Yes.
And it's very, very important to have that, since we seem to have problems with the town funding.
Right, of course. And that's, just the way things are.
It's the way things are.
Just the way things are.
So it's nice to have private people get involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's come up, but we're going to see it. It's going to get better.
Yes, absolutely.
It's getting brighter. It's getting brighter.
More hours. I think you're getting more staff.
Yes.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And so it's coming.
Yes.
That's good.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Sandy. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes, great.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Checking Out the Wareham Library. I hope you come down to the library to take advantage of the services that we offer and say hello to the friendly faces that you see every day.
Enjoyed that episode and you learned as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for Good Morning Wareham show. You missed us this morning. Do not worry. This show will re-air this evening at 6 p.m. We also have Wareham High School graduation tonight at 6, I believe. Is it 6? 6:30. So thank you for joining us, and see you next Monday. Bye.